In the vast sweep of world history, the Mongol Empire is often remembered as an unstoppable force. Its armies thundered across Asia, reshaping kingdoms and civilizations in their wake. Yet amidst the tales of conquest and subjugation, there lies a lesser-known chapter. The story of Đại Việt, the forgotten empire that stood its ground, outmaneuvered the Mongols, and emerged victorious against seemingly insurmountable odds. To understand this remarkable episode, we must journey back to the 13th century, a time when the Mongol Empire, under the leadership of Genghis Khan and his successors, had expanded with breathtaking speed and ferocity. By the mid-1200s, the Mongols dominated much of Eurasia, from the steppes of Mongolia to the heart of China, the Middle East, and Eastern Europe. Their armies were feared for their ruthless tactics, strategic brilliance, and adaptability. Few could withstand their onslaught, and even fewer could claim to have defied them. Yet, in the lush, vibrant lands to the south of China, the kingdom of Đại Việt flourished. Centered in what is now northern Vietnam, Đại Việt was a sophisticated society with a rich culture, a resilient people, and a legacy of independence forged over centuries. Its rulers, the Tran dynasty, presided over a realm defined by its rivers and mountains, its rice paddies and bustling cities, and a deep sense of identity rooted in both Confucian and indigenous traditions. In 1257, the Mongols turned their gaze towards Đại Việt. Their aim was twofold: to expand their dominion and to secure passage for their armies as they sought to conquer the Song dynasty in southern China. The Mongols, led by Uriankadai, the son of the famed general Subutai, demanded Đại Viet's submission and cooperation. The king of Đại Việt, Tran Tai Tung, refused. This act of defiance would set the stage for one of the most extraordinary chapters in Southeast Asian history. The Mongol invasion began with the characteristic efficiency and brutality that had brought them victory elsewhere. Mongol cavalry swept through the northern border, overwhelming Đại Viet's initial defenses. The capital, Thang Long, was captured and sacked. The royal court was forced to flee. It seemed, for a brief moment, that Đại Viet's fate would mirror that of so many other kingdoms before the Mongol tide. But the Tran dynasty was not easily broken. The Vietnamese regrouped, utilizing their intimate knowledge of the terrain, the dense forests, and winding rivers to their advantage. In a calculated move, they adopted scorched earth tactics, denying the Mongols the resources they so desperately needed. The invaders, unfamiliar with the humid climate and plagued by disease and supply shortages, found themselves increasingly vulnerable. It was not just the land that fought back. The people of Đại Việt, from peasants to warriors, rallied behind their leaders. Their resistance was fierce, fueled by a sense of patriotism and an understanding that their survival depended on unity and ingenuity. Tran Tai Tung and his generals launched counterattacks, striking the Mongols where they least expected. The tide began to turn. After months of grueling struggle, the Mongols were forced to withdraw. Đại Việt had stood its ground, and the first invasion ended in a remarkable victory for the Vietnamese. Yet the Mongols were not easily deterred. They returned in 1285, this time under the leadership of Kublai Khan, the grandson of Genghis Khan and the founder of the Yuan dynasty in China. This second invasion was even more formidable, with a massive army backed by the full resources of the Mongol Empire. The Tran dynasty, now led by Tran Yun Tung and his brilliant general Tran Hung Dao, faced a daunting challenge. The Mongols advanced swiftly, capturing strategic positions and threatening to overwhelm the defenders. But once again, ingenuity and resilience prevailed. The Vietnamese employed hit-and-run tactics, sabotaged supply lines, and lured the Mongols deep into inhospitable terrain. The invaders, faced with relentless resistance and mounting losses, struggled to maintain their momentum. Tran Hung Dao's leadership was instrumental. He inspired his troops with stirring speeches, reminding them of the stakes and invoking the spirit of national unity. His strategic acumen allowed him to exploit the Mongols' weaknesses, turning the very environment of Đại Việt into a weapon. Rivers became barriers, forests became ambush sites, and the tropical climate sapped the strength of the foreign invaders. In a decisive battle at the Bakdang River, Tran Hung Dao delivered a crushing blow. Employing a tactic reminiscent of a legendary earlier victory, he ordered wooden stakes to be planted in the riverbed, concealed by the high tide. As the Mongol fleet advanced, the tide receded, exposing the stakes and trapping the ships. The Vietnamese set upon the immobilized enemy, inflicting devastating losses. It was a masterstroke that echoed through history, a testament to the power of innovation and local knowledge. The Mongols, faced with catastrophic defeat, retreated once more. The resilience of Đại Việt had prevailed, and the kingdom remained unconquered. Kublai Khan, despite his vast resources and military genius, had failed to subdue the Vietnamese. The lessons were clear. Even the mightiest empire could be thwarted by determination, strategy, and the will of a people united in defense of their homeland. In the aftermath, Đại Việt entered a golden age. The Tran dynasty consolidated its rule, fostering cultural and economic prosperity. The victories against the Mongols became a source of national pride, celebrated in poetry, song, and legend. The memory of Tran Hung Dao's leadership and the sacrifices of the Vietnamese people endured, shaping the identity of generations to come. Yet outside of Vietnam, this story remains largely forgotten, a footnote in the grand narrative of Mongol expansion. The reasons are many. The dominance of Eurocentric perspectives in global history, the sheer scale of the Mongol conquests, and the tendency to overlook the resilience of smaller states in the shadow of empires. But the legacy of Đại Viet's triumph is profound, offering timeless lessons in the art of resistance, the value of unity, and the importance of understanding one's own strengths. The story of Đại Việt is a reminder that history is not merely the tale of the victors, but also of those who endured, who defied, and who shaped their own destinies against overwhelming odds. It is a testament to the power of courage and ingenuity, and a call to remember the forgotten empires whose legacies continue to inspire. In the rolling hills and ancient rivers of Vietnam, the echoes of those battles remain. The spirit of Đại Việt endures, not only in the annals of history, but in the hearts of a people who remember, who honor, and who continue to draw strength from the lessons of their ancestors. As the world reflects on the rise and fall of empires, the story of Đại Việt stands as a beacon, proof that even the most formidable foe can be overcome when a people fight not just for survival, but for the right to shape their own future.